This episode today is a review of the new linear tube audio MicroZOTL Level 3 preamplifier. And yes, it is a tube preamplifier, but doesn't really sound all that tubey. And that's interesting right there. But anyway, this is the Level 3 version. I've had the Level 2 here since 2023, and that's been my reference. And before that, I had a PassLabs XP30, very high-end, 3-chassis PassLabs preamp, and the Level 2 version actually dethroned, so to speak, the Pass from its position as my reference. I love the look and feel of this piece, which, by the way, is handcrafted in Tacoma Park, Maryland. The knob feel is so silky smooth in ways that very few modern preamps are. It's more like the good old days, except this one is a 100-step stepped attenuator. But the feel as you turn it is so silky smooth, and you hear the relays clicking as you're going through the various steps. Very classy. It uses tubes, but as I said, it's not a particularly tubey sounding preamp. So if you're one of those people that you're sort of interested in tube sound, but you don't want to go too far in that direction, too soft, too sweet, too mellow, this one might be right up your alley. Oh, before I go any further, I have to make an announcement. You guys know that I have a Patreon. I'm sure you do. And I have neglected to tell you that when you are a Patreon member, which you can be for as little as $3 a month, you can watch these videos that I make for YouTube without commercials. So anyway, I'm just throwing it out there, so consider that one reason to join my Patreon. Hey, I'm going to show you the back panel. It has 4 sets of RCA inputs, 1 set of XLR inputs, 1 tape input as well. It also has 2 main outputs, so you can drive a power amplifier and a powered subwoofer at the same time with this preamp. Oh, let's look at the front panel for a second, and I will show you that there is a 1/4-inch 6.3mm headphone jack, and the headphone amplifier that resides inside this chassis is absolutely top rate. If you're really into headphones, you will have no need to add a separate headphone amplifier, because this one is really, really good. Now, that row of brass buttons, and they are actual brass buttons, they are touch-sensitive buttons, meaning you don't have to push on them, you just touch them, and they do their job, just like that. The display, that numerical display, is very large, easy to see from across the room, by the way. Very nice, and it is dimmable. Oh, as for the remote is certainly serviceable, and it is a metal remote, but it doesn't feel right for a preamp of this price. Oh, and the price. The price is $5,950 with the stock tubes, which are great tubes, but I've been using the upgraded set of tubes available from Ray Tubes, and those tubes add an extra, well, the price is then $6,400 with a complete set of Ray tubes. The warranty runs to 3 years. And I should mention that Linear Tube Audio is a direct sale company, direct to their customers wherever you are. The price is the same worldwide, or I should say in the UK and EU. Everybody pays the same price in dollars. So right now I'm going to show you the Level 2 and the Level 3 preamps side by side. They look exactly the same from the outside. And then on the inside, I'm going to show you the Level 2 and the Level 3. And you don't have to be an engineer to see that these two look significantly different one from the other. And these changes in circuit board layout and the way the components are used, basically they say, and I agree, mean that the preamp is now quieter. It was always quiet, but it's even quieter. You hear inner detail, you hear differences in sound stage. The Level 3 is significantly better, and I will talk about the differences later on in this review. The MicroZOTL tube complement there's some options here. You can either use 12 SN7 tubes, those are the big chunky tubes, or 6 SN7 tubes, either one. And the smaller signal tubes are either 12 AT7s or 12 AU7s. And they do sound different. But I think the bigger difference really is in the smaller tube. I think the 12 AU7 adds more warmth, more roundness, more body to the sound, and the 12AT7 just lights up more. So it's, you know, it's a tube tuning flavor test. You know, which way do you want to go? And I was using actually the 12AT7s for most of these listening sessions. I have to take a moment to point out that this is a line stage only preamplifier, meaning it does not have a built-in phono preamp, it does not have a built-in DAC. It only works with line level sources, like meaning external DACs and external phono preamps or a tape recorder or something. It's just a line stage preamp. And I prefer preamps that are designed that way, because if you're into, let's say, analog, you should get the best phono preamp you can get, not the built-in one, which is sort of a compromise. If you're into digital, you don't really want to use the built-in DAC. They're just there as a feature and as an added feature, but they're usually not that good. So if you're going to spend $6,000 on a preamp like this, a line preamp like this, go out and get yourself either or both an external phono preamp or an external DAC that are up to your standards. And speaking of that, I use the linear tube audio Aero DAC. That would obviously complement the sound of the MicroZOTL. And also phono preamp is a Quicksilver phono preamp. I think it's obvious that I am a very sound aware person. It's my job, right? But I've always been this way. Long before I did any reviews, I would be very aware of my environment. Like when I'm walking around in Brooklyn, the sound of the wind moving through the trees, the leaves, hearing the birds talking to each other. This was always, a big deal for me to be aware of that. When I lived in Far Rockaway on the beach, I would just sit in front of the Atlantic Ocean and listen to the waves come from off in the distance. I was fascinated. I can hear that wave breaking, like a half a mile away, and it's coming towards me. I love that stuff. I used to think, if I could only record and capture that sound of the ocean spatially from off in the distance coming closer. I never did it. I was worried about the salt affecting the microphones and technical stuff. But anyway, that's my thing, is being aware of sound in recorded music and also in life. That's what I bring to this party. And the better tube preamplifiers do that sort of thing, that capturing the sound of the complete environment of a recording. In this case, usually recording studios, or the sessions that I worked at for Chesky Records, which are generally not done in recording studios. Yeah, I want to hear those spatial relationships of all the instruments and the singers on a recording. That's big for me. And tube preamplifiers, the best of them, like the LTA MicroZOTL Level 3, do that really, really well. And in fact, that's what distinguishes the Level 3 from the Level 2. Now, I didn't have to do a lot of back and forth comparisons to be aware of that difference, which is not that subtle. I mean, they have a similar sonic signature overall, but the Level 3 gives me more low-level detail, more spatial information that I crave, that I really get off on. I get that more from the Level 3 than I do from the Level 2. Tonally, I think the new one, the Level 3, is a bit more incisive, faster sounding, a little clearer sounding. But the Level 2, which I was using happily for a couple of years, that's no slouch in any of those departments. I'm just talking about the difference. So in other words, the Level 2 and the Level 3 are obviously going to wind up being similar sounding products. It's just that the new one has these improvements, to me, in spatiality and in low-level detail. Shifting gears, I was playing this CD, the new Appalachians on Chesky Records, the CD, and I was present at this session. And it was just a relatively big band. This was recorded in a church in Brooklyn. And what was beautiful about this recording is the dynamic contrast of all the instruments. And the singer, by the way, was not separately mic'd. She had to sing above the band, be louder than the band so she could be heard. Fantastic. So what this recording captures so well is all of these dynamic contrasts, all these dynamic shadings from these different instruments all at the same time, because they're all playing together. And yeah, the Level 3 did an incredible job at sussing out those differences. Level 2, a little less, definitely a little less of that. So in every step of the way, I was hearing more of that kind of detail, more like being there. When this record was being recorded, I was in the church and I was sitting, I don't know, 15 feet away from the musicians. And I was soaking that in when they were doing it right in front of me. And this CD brings some of that magic back. Now, you guys know that I don't really do much with headphones anymore in the context of reviews. But here it is, this beautiful amplifier, headphone amplifier right there in front of me. I had to plug in my Audeze LCD3 planar magnetic headphones. These are pretty recent ones. They're about 3 or 4 years old. They sound fantastic. Almost plugged in to the MicroZOTL. Almost like electrostatic in there. Incredible clarity. That was so striking about hearing into, the contrast between hearing a recording like the New Appalachians over speakers or over headphones. The headphones were more like speakers, it just had that relaxed, open sound stage. And yeah, it's like really, really impressive. So if you have some headphones, whether they're like solidly affordable or crazy expensive, and you like listening on headphones, that would tip the balance into using something like this, using the MicroZOTL. Tube preamplifiers can have more background noise, hiss, hum, than solid-state preamplifiers. That's a generalization, but it is generally true. But this preamp, the MicroZOTL, is as quiet as solid-state preamps that I've had through this system. So if that's a concern for you, that you don't want to add noise or hiss to your system by going with tubes, that's not much of an issue with this preamplifier. I think I'm ready to present. So Steve, what do you really think of the Linear Tube Audio MicroZOTL Level 3 preamplifier? I think it's good, but I think what's really special about it is how it does that balance of giving you the virtues of tubes without sacrificing the virtue of solid state in terms of lower noise or faster or clearer sound. I think this one actually is the perfect place right in the middle between really good tubes and really good solid state, and giving you enough of both to keep you happy. And I think that's what separates it from a lot of the other tube competition. Now please understand, I love the sound of very tubey sounding preamplifiers. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm just saying this one is not one of those that's going to be a very lush, warm sound. That's not what's going on here. So that's what really separates it from other really good tube preamplifiers in this price range of around $6,000. Anyway, we can now continue and go right into, you absolutely love it, the Audiophiliac viewer system of the day. Okay, this one comes from Casper. He lives in Basel, Switzerland. There's a lot of stuff here, but in the main system, it's a Riga P9 turntable, Riga RB900 tone arm, EMT HSD 006 moving coil cartridge. Step-up transformer is the Ojas Cinemag 1254. The phono stage is an EAR Yoshino phono box. There's a passive transformer preamp, that's the Audion TVC. And the amplifier is an Audion Silver Night Special Edition with Pure Magic 300B tubes. CD transport is the 47 Laboratory 4716 Shigaraki. The DAC is the Hollow Audio Spring 2, the Kasuni tuned edition. Speakers are Klipsch Lascalas, and there's an AudioQuest Niagara 1200 power conditioner, and cabling by Luna Orange, Auditorium 23, Wire World, 47 Labs, and AudioQuest. But wait, there's more. There's also the Zoo Audio Soul Supreme speakers, Zoo Audio Undertone subwoofer, Rendeco RK115A speakers, Louder speakers, Pen Audio Charisma speakers, DNM3A preamplifier, the DNM-PA power amplifier, and last but certainly not least, the Amp Camp Amp. It's a kit amplifier designed by Nelson Pass. Thank you, Casper. We are back. Again, my name is Steve Gunberg. Thank you so much for watching this far into the video. And yet, if you're curious about the Patreon, I gave you some reason to consider it that I haven't done before about not watching ads on YouTube. That might tip the balance for you. But also, you will see videos on my Patreon that are not shown ever on YouTube. You could join for as little as $3 a month, up to $50 or $100 a month. At the top two levels, you and I will have a conversation every month at the beginning of the month. And that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Thank you again so much for watching, and I truly do hope to see you back here again very, very soon. Bye-bye.